So welcome friends, what if Wendy Marvell makes Naruto better by changing him completely movie. Naruto Uzumaki, son of Kushina Uzumaki and Minato Namikaze, just finished his battle with the god of chakra, Kagaya Otsutsuki. Naruto, with the help of his friends, Sakura Haruno, Sasuke Uchiha and their sensei Kakashi Hatake, managed to seal Kagaya and finally finished the fourth great shinobi war. Naruto just turned 17 years old, and even though he and Sasuke managed to defeat Kagaya, Sasuke wanted more, he just didn't want peace, he wanted control. With his Rinnegan, he managed to imprison the 9 Bijuus and siphon their chakra inside him. Naruto did everything to defeat him, till the point where he and Sasuke were empty of chakra. In the final clash between Naruto's Rasengan and Sasuke's Chidori, Naruto managed to dodge Sasuke's Chidori and hit his Rasengan dead center. Sasuke couldn't dodge in time, and the Rasengan tore through his ribcage killing him. Naruto knew that Sasuke was beyond repair, he finally succumbed to the Uchiha madness, to the curse of hatred, so with heavy heart Naruto fell to his knees and spoke to the skies. "Itachi, sorry I couldn't let him live, I'm sorry I couldn't keep my promise," cried Naruto to the skies. Naruto understood that Sasuke was beyond saving the moment he captured the Bijuus, he knew that if he would let him live, he would have done horrible things, with that kind of power that he had. So with heavy heart he removed Sasuke's eye from him, he knew that the Rinnegan is a way too powerful tool to leave it like that. Besides, Naruto needed the Rinnegan if he wanted to release the Genjutsu, so after gathering some nature chakra, Naruto took Sasuke eye and implanted it in himself. So finally with the both parts of the sage's power, he released the Mugen Tsukiyomi and freed the Bijuus. Having finished with everything he needed the Rinnegan for, he removed it from his eye socket and destroyed it, knowing that an eye that powerful shouldn't exist. After freeing the Bijuus, Hagoromo Otsutsuki appeared in the clearing. Hagoromo, seeing the dead body of Sasuke, looked at Naruto sadly and said, "So it seems that everything is finished, I failed again in giving power to Indra's descendant, even Sasuke went against you, even when I played fair to you both, I made another bad decision." Naruto gave him a dry chuckle and said, "It's not your fault old man, they were beyond repair, I was sure that Sasuke would be better than that, but with the power of all the Biju and the Rinnegan, who would have known what would happen if he stay alive." Hagoromo gave Naruto a small soft smile and replied, "Maybe you are right Naruto, I'm too old for these kind of decisions." Naruto got serious and turned to the sage and said, "What would you do now old man, you and I know that people will always want to control the Biju, it's too much power for them to leave it be." Hagoromo gave a sigh and said, "You are right Naruto, and I have a proposition for you." Naruto gave him a questioning look and said, "So? What is it old man?" Hagoromo turned to the Bijuus and gave them a small smile. Hagoromo raised his voice and said, "My children, all of you know that Naruto is right, my proposition for all of you is that I will take you all to the afterlife with me." Then he turned to Naruto and continued, "And that is when you come in Naruto, I can't take all of their chakra, I can only take their souls, so I want to give you all their chakra, so it can rest in good hands." "I understand old man, and I will take it gladly so that you can finally be with your children," said Naruto, sending a big smile towards the Bijuus. Shukaku, Matatabi, Isobu, Son Goku, Kakuo, Seiken, Chimei, Jayuki and Kurama were all impressed with the proposition of their father and with the ease that Naruto accepted all the responsibility. Kurama, being the one that knew Naruto the most, replied, "Kid, you always are like this, sacrificing yourself for others, but it would be disrespectful of me to reject the wishes of the only two humans that I respect. Thanks for everything Naruto." Naruto gave the fox a big smile and said, "You know I got it Kurama, you can finally rest in peace with all your family. So that is what you decided, I will start the process of giving you the chakra Naruto, and I will take the other half of Kurama from you," said Hagoromo with a smile, seeing the relationship between Naruto and Kurama. After a moment of taking the chakra, surprisingly painless to Naruto, Naruto saw that he still had the Yang seal, looking up curiously he asked, "Old man, why I still have the Yang seal?" "That is because I think that you will give it a good use Naruto, the power to heal almost everything, the power of life, I want you to have it and use it for good, but not here Naruto, I think you understand that you are almost a god in this realm, you are the equivalent of the Juubi," Hagoromo said. Naruto was puzzled by this, but understood the fact that he was most powerful person alive but said, "What do you mean this realm old man? What are you implying?" "Naruto, I want to send you to a new realm, a realm where nobody knows of you, a new world if you want to call it that," Hagoromo said. "So, I will leave this world behind all my friends," Naruto said with heavy heart, thinking of all the people that he would leave here. "I understand that Naruto, but you know that if you continue staying here there will be wars for your power and most likely your friends will be involved, if you want to protect them, you need to leave them," Hagoromo replied to Naruto. "If it's to protect my friends you know that I will do anything for them, I will do as you say old man, but first I want to ask you some things," Naruto said. "I'm glad you understand Naruto, you can ask any question you want," Hagoromo replied with a smile, seeing that Naruto was so eager to protect his loved ones. Okay, where am I going and what should I expect there, said Naruto. You are going to a world that called Earthland. There they use something similar to chakra, only they call it magic. With this energy you can do almost anything. There are also a lot of different beasts or magic creatures which they call them there, the most prominent ones being dragons, replied Hagoromo. Naruto was awed by this information. Dragons. And magic. This new world sounds impressive. I'm an old man. Take me there, replied Naruto, almost giggling. Hagoromo gave a low chuckle and said, very well Naruto, I will take you there, and with those words Hagoromo, Naruto and the 9 Bijuas started glowing. Before disappearing Naruto turned to the Bijuas and said Shukaku, Matatabi, Isobu, Son Goku, Kakuo, Seiken, Jimei, Jayuki and Kurama, thanks for everything, I will never forget any of you. Kurama gave him a sad smile and said, we will never forget you kid, no one can be as annoying as you anyway. Naruto gave Kurama a face-splitting grin with tears coming from his eyes and gave one final wave. Just when they were about to disappear they saw all the Shinobi Alliance coming from everywhere and the last thing they saw of Naruto was his trademark grin and thumbs up before they disappeared. Plus. Fiori. July 7x777. Naruto woke up in an unknown forest. As he started to sit up he began to recall everything that happened before falling asleep, the battle against Kagaya, his battle against Sasuke, and Hagoromo's proposition. Giving a small smile seeing that everything went right, he started checking himself for everything before realizing that his old clothes were gone and replaced with his sage cloak, besides the new cloak everything was the same as before, but no longer destroyed. Seeing this Naruto was happy as he didn't need to gather new clothes, he started checking his body with all the seals planted on him by Jiraiya and himself, unsealing his left arm seal, he checks his sealing kit and the first book of Jiraiya popped out, seeing this he gave a sad smile remembering his parental figure. Unsealing the one on his right arm he sees that his father Trikunai are still there. I decided that Naruto needs to be at least good at Fuinjutsu and needs to know the Hiraishin, after all I think that with only Rasengan and Kage Bunshin, he needs more skills. And the last seal he checked to see if he still had was the Yang seal, the most important seal in his possession. Seeing that everything with his body is okay, he checked his chakra reserves and realized that they were huge, even more than before. He gathered that with all the chakra he has, his reserves would almost be limitless, and there were no longer 2 different pools of chakra, they somehow combined together. If someone tried to sense his chakra, they would likely not feel anything. Having that the Yang seal on him gives him a constant flow of nature chakra going through him, the only thing that someone would feel would be the nature itself, just like he felt with the Juubi. Seeing that everything was fine, he noticed that he was in a constant sage mode which gave him amazing sensory abilities. He quickly got up and started walking to the nearest magical signature he felt. While on the way he noticed that this magic feels different than chakra, it feels more nature-like, but in a light way, almost watered down, in other words it felt weaker than chakra. Plus. Walking for what seemed like 10 minutes he arrived at a clearing. At the clearing he stumbled upon a sad image. There was a little girl probably 7-year-old and she was ejecting feelings of sadness, loneliness and fear. Feeling sorry for the little girl he started walking towards her. Upon closer inspection the little girl had long blue hair, big brown eyes and a petite constitution, with a simple white dress. Naruto was confused as to why a kid would be in the forest alone, but what intrigued him the most was that he could feel another presence within the little girl, almost like a Jinchuriki. Plus. Wendy was having the worst day of her life, her mother Grandini left her, she didn't know why Grandini left, but all she knew was that she was now alone, and being a 7-year-old, she didn't know what to do, so she sat there alone crying with her heart broken. Wendy was cut from her crying at the sound of footsteps, quickly looking up, she saw a tall man wearing an orange cloak, she was about to run away in fear of the strange man, but seeing the look in his eyes, a look that only Grandini gave her, a look of warmth and compassion, as well as the small smile he had in his face, kept her staying in place. Naruto, seeing that the little girl would not run away, bent down on one knee and put a hand on top of Wendy's head. Seeing this Wendy flinched and closed her eyes, not feeling anything bad, Wendy opened her eyes to meet the ones of the stranger. "Why are you crying, are you lost?" Naruto said with the softest smile he could muster. Wendy seeing the warmth in the stranger eyes, couldn't control as her lips started quivering and tears started to escape from the corners of her eyes. "My mother left me, and I am Alani," replied Wendy, and who started crying her heart out. Hearing this Naruto frowned, looking back at the little girl he gave her a warm smile and said, "It's okay, I'm here and I will never leave a little girl like you." Not resisting any longer Wendy collapsed on top of Naruto and started crying her eyes out. Naruto hugged her close to him as she cried herself to sleep. Plus. Wendy woke up at night and recalled everything that happened that day. First Grandini left her, which Wendy knew was for good seeing the odd behavior of the dragon during the last month together. Wendy was a smart kid and knew that something was wrong, and finally this morning she understood what was wrong. Grandini left her and would not be coming back soon. That's why she was crying her eyes out, she knew that her mother had left her. Recalling everything, Wendy remembered the stranger that held her this morning, quickly snapping out her stupor, she started to look around for him and saw him sitting beside the fire pit, she sighed on relief, seeing that he didn't leave her too. Naruto knew that the little girl was awake the moment her breath started to speed up, being a former shinobi gave him some good awareness of his surroundings, so seeing no harm on waiting for the kid to realize that he was still there, he continued waiting until the girl was ready to talk. Wendy started approaching the stranger softly being cautious of the man, so she took her time and when she arrived next to the stranger she said. Hi, I'm sorry for earlier, my name is Wendy Marvell, who are you? Wendy replied with wariness to the offending stranger, as well as having fear of being left again. Naruto gave her a warm smile and replied, my name is Naruto Uzumaki, nice to meet you Wendy-chan, please take a seat I made dinner. Wendy gave him a small smile and said hi Naruto-san, seeing that Wendy took a seat in one of the logs, Naruto went to the pot and served Wendy a bowl of rabbit stew, something that he hunted earlier on. Taking the bowl from Naruto, Wendy muttered a quick thank you and started eating, seeing that she hadn't ate for the whole day, Wendy ate as fast as she could, and besides the stew was delicious, she never tasted anything that good. Naruto gave a soft chuckle seeing Wendy eat so eagerly, he called himself a good cook, living alone his whole life, and with a master like Jiraiya, he had to learn to cook to survive. Naruto waited for Wendy to finish her plate and went and serve her another one. Wendy flustered a bit hearing the chuckle of Naruto and the second plate he gave her, but nonetheless she continued eating, she was starving. After dinner Naruto turned to Wendy and with a serious expression asked Wendy-chan, can you explain to me why you were alone? Wendy went stiff but relaxed after some seconds seeing that Naruto was waiting for her answer. My mother Grandini left me, she was acting weird for the last month and I knew this would happen, she is a dragon, she found me when I was little I have been living with her ever since. Naruto was awed from what Wendy said, her mother was a dragon, any other person would think that the girl is lying, but being the best censor alive, he knew that Wendy wasn't, not feeling any lies, Naruto gave Wendy a warm smile. It's okay Wendy-chan, I believe you Naruto gave the girl a smile at the shocked expression of the girl. Wendy was shocked for a stranger to believe her a story that any other would label as crazy and seeing the eyes of Naruto, those blue eyes, she knew that he truly believed her. Before Wendy could say anything Naruto continued, it's okay Wendy-chan, I know you have some questions, I have no problem answering any of them, go ahead. Wendy was happy that Naruto understood her, and even more that Naruto was not pressing the topic of Grandini, she didn't know if she had the strength to speak of her yet. Naruto-san I was wondering, why did you believe me so fast? Said Wendy. Naruto gave a soft chuckle and replied, Naruto is fine Wendy-chan, I'm not much of formalities, and why I believed you so easy was because I can feel if you're lying or not. You can feel if I'm lying or not. How is that possible? Wendy asked with a questioning look in her face. Naruto seeing that no one of this world knows of chakra tried to explain in the best form possible, well you see Wendy-chan that is one of my magics. Wendy had stars on her eyes and like any kid started to yell, you use magic too. That's amazing, I do too. Yes I can use a lot of different magic, that I call it sage magic, which magic do you use Wendy-chan? Replied Naruto with a chuckle. Wendy had an odd expression on her face, she never heard of that magic, but she replied nonetheless, my magic is Sky Dragon Slayer magic, Grandini Ka-san taught me that. Oh, that is one interesting magic Wendy-chan, let's talk more in the morning, I think it's time for you to sleep, replied Naruto. Suddenly Wendy got an afraid expression on her face and faced Naruto, you will stay. You won't leave me right? I will stay Wendy-chan, I swear I won't leave you, I can't leave my little Haim-chan like you alone can I? Replied Naruto with a small smile. Wendy was happy that Naruto was staying and was happy that he called her Haim, princess, knowing by the tales Grandini told her when she went to sleep replied. If I'm a Haim you are my knight, you have to protect me, right? Wendy asked with a dreamy expression. Naruto chuckled and replied, of course Wendy Haim, I will protect you with my life, Naruto replied with a mock salute. Wendy giggled by the blonde actions and went to bed. Naruto was about to take a seat by the fire, but a question by Wendy stopped him. Wendy asked before Naruto was too far away, could you sleep with me, I don't want to be alone. Hearing the innocent question of the girl Naruto turned around and replied, of course I can Wendy Haim. Wendy hearing this gave him a beaming smile and made space for him to sleep with her. Naruto approached the bed, leaving his cloak and jacket behind, he entered the bed and laid beside Wendy. Wendy quickly positioned herself beside Naruto and putted her head on Naruto's chest and snuggled closer. Naruto giggled and said, good night Wendy Haim. Wendy looked up from Naruto's chest and with an innocent smile said good night Ani-chan. Naruto chuckled at the nickname of Ani-chan, but let it slide, after all she was just a 7-year-old little girl, the innocence of a child is the cutest. Plus. The next morning Naruto woke up, but feeling the weight of Wendy on top of him he remained unmoved, not wanting to wake up Wendy he made a seal-less shadow clone, and the clone went to make something for breakfast. A couple of minutes later Wendy started to wake up, feeling a strange warmth coming beside her she stiffened up, but after recalling the events of yesterday, she relaxed remembering that her Oni-chan slept next to her, she blushed a little remembering the nickname she called him, but recalling that he didn't correct her or frown at the name she was happy. Feeling Wendy move Naruto looked down and said, "Good morning Wendy Haim, how did you sleep?" Wendy looked up and smiled, seeing the face of her blonde friend and replied, "I slept great Oni-chan." Naruto chuckled at the nickname but didn't said anything, gathering the memories of the clone Naruto said, "Wendy Haim, I made breakfast, do you want to eat something?" Wendy gave him a nod, questioning when he made the breakfast, but she didn't ask anything seeing no problem at that. After eating a simple breakfast Wendy started to get nervous and looked at Naruto from time to time. Naruto seeing this and feeling her nerves and negative emotions said, "You want to say something Wendy Haim, you know that you can ask anything you want," Naruto said. "I was wondering if you know I could stay with you Oni-chan, I know we only met yesterday, but I." Before she could finish the sentence Naruto was already kneeling in front of her. "Of course you can Wendy Haim, I can't leave my little Haim alone can I?" replied Naruto with a warm smile on his face. Wendy started to cry and embraced Naruto with all her might. Naruto seeing the little girl hug him, he hugged her back and started stroking her hair until she calmed down. After Wendy calmed down Naruto said, "Okay, we need to start traveling, I don't want to stay in one place all the time, let's have adventures Wendy Haim, gather your things let's get a head start on the day." Wendy gave him a beaming smile and ran to gather all her belongings. Before leaving the clearing where Grandini left her, she gave it a smile and thought Grandini-san, I met my new Oni-chan, he is a good person and I will follow him, I hope I can see you again Ka-san. Wendy didn't realize that the dragon was smiling inside her by the new turn of events. Naruto seeing Wendy look back said, "Let's go Wendy Haim." Wendy gave him a nod and a smile and they started walking towards the start of their big adventure. Plus. Fiori X 778. It's already been a year since the day Naruto met Wendy. In this time Naruto managed to learn a lot about this new world. One of the most interesting things he learned so far were the guilds, which are groups of people that work together and take missions, and it has a master. The guild concept was very similar to the one of a hidden village, the guild master is the Hokage, the CBAS class mages are like the ranks of Genin, Chunin, Special Jonin and Jonin, depending on the rank you can take different missions and get rewards depending of the missions. Something that Naruto liked the most of this new world was that you don't need to kill every enemy that you see. At the elemental nations you learn to kill since you enrolled in the academy, but here in Fiori killing is forbidden. This was a nice change of pace for Naruto, seeing that Naruto started his own quest of being a healer. He also learned of the Magic Council and the Wizard Saints. This concept made Naruto laugh, seeing that Naruto is currently one of the strongest beings alive. Almost at the same level of a god. In this year Naruto and Wendy started to wander from town to town as wandering healers, seeing that Wendy was a healer with her Sky Dragon Slayer magic and Naruto was with his Yang Seal. Wendy would heal most people, as she could practice her magic, and Naruto would only heal the most dangerous or difficult stuff. By these actions people started to give Naruto and Wendy some nicknames, the most prominent one was Maiko, and the priest Naruto and Wendy giggled at the nicknames. One day they found a strange white egg in the forest, Naruto wanted to eat it, but Wendy begged Naruto to let her take care of it, Naruto agreed seeing no problem letting her care for it, after a couple of weeks the egg hatched, and from it a small white cat came. Wendy quickly decided that she would care for the cat and named her Carla. Carla was a cute cat and she was Wendy's best friend. For some reason Carla was extra defensive about Wendy, but Naruto loved this, loving Wendy like a little sister and by extent Carla. Plus. Fiori X 779. In this year Naruto, Wendy and Carla continued to be wandering healers, the nickname of Maiko and the priest becoming famous all over the world, and needless to say that Wendy was improving in her healing abilities a lot, she managed to improve her combat abilities too, but Naruto always said that she was too young to fight, so he continued to only train her in healing. In this year Carla also grew more and managed to become the sassiest cat ever to live, she only trusted Naruto and Wendy, no one else, and she was always very weary of strangers. For Carla, Wendy was her best friend, her partner and the most important thing to her, Naruto was like her big brother, he was also the only man she trusted, and she loved him almost as much as Wendy did. Wendy got even closer to Naruto in the past 2 years since the first time she met him, he was still her Oni-chan, and she loved him the most than any other person in the world. From that day forward Wendy slept with Naruto in the same bed, with the same excuse every time, being that he was her knight and had to keep her safe. From the day Carla appeared, all of them always slept together, the two girls never wanting to leave Naruto's side. Naruto had no problem with this, seeing that he had never had a family before and he was the most caring and loving brother ever. Wendy and Carla couldn't be happier. And this year Naruto told Wendy and Carla his real story and past, not wanting to keep secrets to Wendy or Carla. Needless to say that they were impressed and sad by all that happened in his life. Wendy and Carla cried all night hearing the hardships that Naruto had to endure to simply survive in his village and all the things he had to deal with in the war. From that day forward Wendy and Carla were even closer to Naruto, never leaving his side and loving him even more than before. Wendy and Carla now understood why Naruto could heal anything and why he was so strong, but seeing the carefree and happy attitude Naruto always had, they understood that Naruto was the best person they could possibly ever met. Naruto, Wendy and Carla were currently getting ready to sleep in a hotel room with the money that one of the patients gave Naruto from him healing them. Naruto never asked for money, but people always gave him something for gratitude and knowing that Wendy and Carla didn't have to sleep in the forest every night he didn't mind. Wendy was currently resting on the bed and asked Naruto, Ani-chan, can I ask you something? Hearing Wendy, Naruto gave her a nod to continue. Ani-chan, do you think we can join a guild? Naruto and Carla were surprised by this question, but Naruto gave her a smile and replied. Wendy, why do you want to join a guild? Naruto asked. It's because I want to have adventures and I think I'm tired of going from place to place. I want to have somewhere where we can settle down, replied Wendy. Naruto gave her a warm smile and replied, what's your opinion, Carla-chan? Do you think it's a good idea? Asked Naruto. I think I will be good for Wendy, Ani-chan, besides you will be with us, so there is nothing to worry about, replied Carla on Naruto's lap. She loved being with Naruto. If that is what you both want, I don't have a problem. We are close to Magnolia, I think there is a guild there, would you like to join that one? Asked Naruto. Hearing this, Wendy gave a beaming smile and tackled Naruto to the ground with a hug and said, thank you. Thank you. Ani-chan, you won't be disappointed, Magnolia sounds great. I heard that there is a guild named Fairy Tail there. Naruto chuckled at the enthusiasm of the little girl and said, alright, we will join after your birthday, we have to finish our work in this town and then we will go to Magnolia. And with that they entered the bed, Naruto laid in the middle, Wendy with her head on top of his chest and Carla on top of his belly, both of them were hugging tightly Naruto. Plus. Fiori. January 10 780. The day was Wendy Marvell's birthday and like last year she liked to be with her Ani-chan all day. Today was a special day, Naruto said he would be giving a special present to her. I will make this day Wendy's birthday because in the canon they never said when it was. After passing the day with Wendy and Carla, one day of fun, first they had a great breakfast at the hotel. Then they went to the beach and had a nice day there. For some reason Wendy liked to eat air, being a sky dragon slayer, she could eat her element and she always liked the air of the sea. At the end of the day they were at the hotel once again and Naruto ordered some room service, he ordered 3 pieces of cake for the 3 of them. After eating the cake Naruto unsealed 2 small boxes, one bigger than the other. Wendy, I have a present for you and one for you to Carla-chan. Wendy was beaming by this and even Carla, surprised by this, was waiting patiently for the present. Handing the boxes to each one of them, Wendy opened it first. It was a necklace with a golden chain and a blue gem in the middle. Wendy saw the necklace and started tearing up, it was beautiful and it was surely expensive. Naruto took it from her and wrapped it around her neck. Before Wendy could said thanks, Naruto spoke up. Wendy, this is no ordinary necklace, it has the Hurration marker in it. If you ever want to talk to me and I'm not around, or if you ever need me, no matter where you are I will be there, it's a promise I made to you the day I met you. Naruto said and brought Wendy to a hug. No matter where you are, no matter what happened, I will always be there for you, Wendy, because I love you with all my heart. That did it for Wendy and she started crying on Naruto's chest. Carla was occupied with her present and opened it. Inside the box was the same necklace that Wendy had, but with an orange gem in it. Seeing this, Carla was about to cry as well, but Naruto brought her to a hug with Wendy. Carla-chan, you and Wendy are my family, I love you both with all my heart and I will never ever leave your side, you two are my little girls and there is nothing I wouldn't do for you. And with that Carla and Wendy cried her themselves to sleep in Naruto's arms. Plus. The next morning the 3 of them were at the doors of Fairy Tail. Wendy was hand in hand with Naruto, her hair was in pigtails and she wore a green dress that looked like dragon scales and wore her new necklace proudly. Carla was on top of Naruto's shoulders, she was wearing a reddish skirt and a yellow-pink jacket with a bow tie and her necklace on top of it. Naruto, feeling the nerves of Wendy and Carla, said, okay Wendy, Carla-chan, here we are in Fairy Tail, and with that Naruto moved to open the door. Upon opening the door, Naruto, Wendy and Carla saw one of the most strange and funny sights one could see. Everyone was having a massive brawl. You could notice that almost everyone was in the brawl. Sweat dropping at the scene, Naruto started to walk towards the bar where a little old man was sitting. Naruto concluded that this old man was probably the guild master, as he had the most magic power amongst all of the people there. It was the only logical conclusion. Wendy and Carla were awed by the behavior of the guild. They were fighting, drinking and breaking stuff, but nonetheless all of them had smiles in their faces. Seeing this odd behavior gave Wendy a small smile and Carla a frown. Seeing that Naruto started moving, Wendy quickly took Naruto's hand again and Carla stood vigilant on Naruto's shoulder. Makarov was having a great day today. All of his children were fine and healthy and were having fun, a lot of fun, if he had to deduce by their faces. Makarov turned around towards the door upon seeing two people and a cat entering the guild. What was interesting about them was that he could feel a strong magic signature on the girl. The signature was similar to Natsu's, so he quickly realized that she must be another dragon slayer. The cat had more magic than Natsu's cat had. Happy, but what was the most interesting thing was the young blonde. The blonde had an orange cloak with orange flames on the bottom. He had golden spiky hair and bright blue eyes that could pierce through steel. The blonde was observing everything like a war veteran, always wary of his surroundings, and a firm hold on the girl, and always an eye on the cat. Makarov quickly understood that this teen was dangerous, but what intrigued him the most was that he couldn't feel any magic coming from him, none at all. It's almost as if he didn't have it, but the air of power that he excluded was not normal. When Naruto started walking through the crowd, everyone stopped fighting, everyone stopped drinking. Even a low-class mage could understand that this man was not normal. Not knowing why, everyone stood firmer than before, as if some type of higher entity entered the guild. The stupor of the guild was broke by the voice of a pink-headed teen. Happy, look, they have a cat too. Everyone's sweat dropped at the question of the pink-haired kid. The blue cat with wings looked towards Naruto. Seeing the white cat on his shoulders caused him to have hearts in his eyes, completely dumbfounded by the female cat. Carla, seeing the looks that everyone was giving her, as well as the looks of that blue cat, caused her to start to get a little nervous. Naruto, sensing the feelings of Carla, gave her a pat on the head. Carla, feeling the pat of her Oni-chan, calmed down and leaned closer to his face. Everyone was watching how the group of three approached the master, waiting to see what his response would be to them. Surely Makarov could handle this group of strangers. Upon arriving at the bar, Makarov was the first to speak. Hello young man, what brings you here? Hello, I was looking for the master. Seeing that you are the one with most magical power here, I assume it's you, Naruto replied. Makarov chuckled and said, you are quite right young man, my name is Makarov Dreyer, I'm the master of fairy tale. What is your name? My name is Naruto Uzumaki, pointing towards Wendy. This little girl is Wendy Marvell, and pointing to the cat on his shoulders Naruto said, and this is Carla. We are here because we want to join the guild, replied Naruto with a nod from Wendy, still holding Naruto's hand. Welcome Naruto-san, Wendy-chan, Carla-chan, replied Makarov with a grin on his face. Of course you can join the guild, anyone can join fairy tale, Makarov replied with a chuckle. Hearing those names, a blue-haired girl with glasses and a cape gasped. She quickly ran towards Naruto and almost shouted, I heard those names before, aren't you the Miko and the priest? Everyone heard this and started whispering among themselves. Makarov too heard this and gasped, Naruto-san, is that true? Well, we have been called that before. By the way, what is your name, miss? Naruto replied, looking to the girl with blue hair. Said girl blushed at the question and her lack of manners. Sorry for that, my name is Levi, it's just that you two are famous medics everywhere, they say you can heal anything. Levi blushed again, she was just exited. Nice to meet you Levi-chan, I'm sure we are not that famous, replied Naruto with a warm smile that made Levi blush furiously at the handsome man's comment. Hearing everything, Makarov chuckled and said, who would have thought that you two would join the guild? Please tell me where you want your guild stamp. All of you, replied Makarov with a grin and with the stamp on his hand. Wendy quickly turned to Naruto with a beaming smile and said, Oni-chan. He said yes. I want it on my hand and in sky blue. Makarov-san. Naruto gave her a smile and ruffled her hair. Makarov got to it and stamped Wendy's hand and gave her a grandfatherly smile. Then he turned to Carla and asked, where do you want it, Carla-chan? Carla gave him a wary look but replied nonetheless, pink on my back please. Makarov smiled at the wariness of the cat and stamped her back. I want it on my chest, my left pec above my heart, in silver please. Makarov gave him a nod and Naruto took of his cloak, jacket and shirt. Needless to say, all the girls besides Wendy and Carla blushed furiously to the point of steam coming out of their ears. Wendy and Carla only blushed a little, a light pink on her cheeks, by their brother's looks. After stamping Naruto and dressing himself again, Makarov turned towards the guild and said, children, we have 3 more members of our family, give them the welcome they deserve, and with that the party started once again. Naruto turned towards Wendy, seeing the hopeful eyes the girl had at seeing everyone having fun, he said, go on Wendy Heim, go have fun. Wendy gave him a beaming smile and pulled him onto eye level and gave him a kiss on the cheek and ran towards some people near his age. Seeing the girl run off, Naruto turned towards Carla and said, Carla-chan, go take care of Wendy, I will be here chatting with master. Carla gave him a nod and a smile and flied towards Wendy. Plus. Makarov waited until the girls were gone. When they were, Makarov turned to Naruto and in a more serious tone asked, why I can't feel your magic? Do you even have magic? Naruto gave him a small smile and said, it's not that you cannot feel my magic, it's that I don't have any. Makarov had a puzzled look in his face. This young man looks so strong and eludes an aura of power, and he doesn't have magic, that is quite rare. You're not normal, are you? Asked Makarov. The only conclusion he could come up with was that Naruto was not a human or a civilian, but with the aura of power, he couldn't be a normal human. Naruto chuckled at this and said, not, but that is something you don't need to know. Makarov became very wary of this young man. I need to know, I can't allow any possible threats to the guild. Naruto smiled at this old man has too much of the sandame, so he gave him a smile and replied. I will tell you in due time, but I have a condition first, replied Naruto with a nostalgic smile on his face. Sure, what is it? Replied Makarov, puzzled by the smile on Naruto's face. I won't do missions, I want to become the official medic of Fairy Tail. I will only participate in combat if the guild is in danger, or if Wendy or Carla asks so, is that clear? Replied Naruto. Makarov gave him a small smile, already seeing the love and care that he has for Wendy and Carla. That is okay, I understand this, and I will not force you to do anything you don't want to. You really care for them, no? Naruto gave him a smile and replied, I would give my life for them, they are my precious people, I love them with all I have, and if someone tries to hurt them I will destroy them. The last part, Naruto replied with a dangerous glint in his eyes. Before Makarov could continue questioning him, Naruto disappeared from the spot. Not even Makarov could see the blonde move. And suddenly an ominous presence fell upon the guild, almost as if the gravity increased by 100. Makarov could only look towards Wendy, where Naruto was with a frown on his face. Plus. Wendy, having been given the okay from her Ani-chan to meet her new guildmates, she went towards the girl that spoke to them before and said, my name is Wendy, Levi-san, nice to meet you. Levi sent a smile towards the younger girl and said, nice to meet you, Wendy-chan, do you want to meet the others? Seeing the girl gave her a nod, Levi took her hand and said, let's go, Wendy-chan. Levi dragged Wendy to her table where two boys were sitting waiting for her. Arriving at the table, Levi faced the two boys and said, Droy, Jet, this is Wendy-chan. Wendy-chan, this is Droy and Jet. Wendy gave them a bow and said, nice to meet you guys. Jet and Droy gave her a smile and replied, nice to meet you to Wendy. Hello, Wendy-chan. Wendy giggled at the boys' attitude and Levi said, let's meet the others. Then Levi dragged Wendy towards a girl in a bathing suit and a mug of beer. Levi said, Wendy-chan, this is Kana. Kana, meet Wendy-chan. Kana Alberona giggled at the behavior of Levi and said, nice to meet you, Wendy-chan, I hope you have a great time at Fairy Tail, replied Kana. Wendy giggled at the carefree attitude of Kana and gave her a bow. And that continued. Wendy would go and meet everyone that Levi knew. That was almost everyone. She met some interesting people. The ones that stood out the most were the three siblings. The older one was named Marahin Strauss. She had white hair, blue eyes, not as blue as her Ani-chan, but blue nonetheless. She wore a gothic outfit and she was pretty abrasive. Needless to say that she was pretty. The second she met was Lysandra Strauss. She was a pretty girl, with short white hair, blue eyes and a blue shirt with a skirt. She was pretty too, very pretty. The last of the siblings was a tall and big man, with a blue suit and white hair. He was funny, always speaking man this man that. Wendy giggled a lot meeting this man. Another one that stood out was a red-eyed girl with armor. She was pretty with brown eyes and was fighting with Marahin. Her name was Urza Scarlet. She was a strange teen. She spoke and behaved like a knight, always right. Wendy giggled at her. She was fun. After that she met a strange man that was called Grey Fullbuster. For some reason he was naked, completely naked. Levi told her that Grey was like that and that he got that trade from his training. Wendy chuckled, thinking what kind of training he must have had. Finally Levi introduced her and Carla toward someone that Carla was already weary of, a kid with pink hair and a white scaled scarf. Before Levi could say anything, the blue cat that was with the kid flied towards Carla and awkwardly introduced himself. Hi, my name is Happy Eye, said Happy with a nervous chuckle. Before Carla could respond, the pink-haired teen started sniffing Wendy. Wendy was puzzled by this behavior and was about to say something when the kid said, you smell like dragon, are you a dragon slayer too? Wendy was surprised by meeting another dragon slayer, but nonetheless introduced herself like Naruto would want her to act. Hi, my name is Wendy, what is your name? The pink-haired kid grinned and said, I'm Natsu and you better get ready, let's see who is stronger, and with that his fist was covered with fire and he jumped to punch Wendy. Wendy was puzzled by this strange kid behavior and was surprised seeing him jump to hit her. She never thought that out of the blue Natsu would attack her. Not having experience in battle, Wendy just ducked and closed her eyes. Carla, seeing that Natsu kid was about to hit Wendy, went in front of her to defend her. Levi was about to shout to Natsu to stop in his charge. But that was the moment when everything went to crap for Natsu. Plus, Naruto, seeing that some kid was about to hit Carla, who was defending Wendy, Naruto quickly appeared in front of Carla, grabbed Natsu's neck and pinned him to the floor. That moment everyone in the guild fell to the floor. The killing intent that Naruto was flaring was so hardcore that not even Makarov could move. It's like they all were in the presence of a god. The only ones that could move and weren't feeling the effects of the killing intent were Carla and Wendy. Naruto would never flare killing intent towards Carla or Wendy, that's why neither of them felt anything in that moment. Wendy, not feeling the hit, opened her eyes and saw his Ani-chan in front of her defending her and Carla, with a strange kid pinned on the floor. Wendy quickly realized that everyone was frozen. Seeing the look on her Ani-chan's face, she understood that he got pissed with the whole guild by allowing someone to try to hurt her. Wendy quickly stood up and hugged Naruto from the back and said, "It's okay, Ani-chan, I'm fine." Carla also hugged Naruto on the back of his head and said, "Yes, Ani-chan, we are okay." Naruto, feeling the hugs of his girls, released Natsu and then the killing intent disappeared. Everyone released the breath that they were holding. But before anyone could say anything, Naruto stood up and with a hollow and strong voice said, "Anyone that hurts or tries to hurt Wendy or Carla will be destroyed. I don't care who you are, or even if we are in the same guild. I will destroy you." And with that, Naruto hugged Wendy and Carla close to his chest. Naruto started to walk towards Makarov and the whole tension disappeared. Everyone quickly looked towards a shocked Natsu with frowns. Naruto arrived to Makarov and said, "Let's speak in your office, Makarov. I'm disgusted by one of your children." And with that, Naruto started walking towards the office with Wendy and Carla still hugged close to him. Makarov turned around to Natsu and gave him a disappointed look and went towards his office with Naruto, Wendy and Carla. Plus, in the guild hall everyone was looking at the back of Naruto until Levi walked towards Natsu, picked him up and said, "What is your problem? How could you attack a kid? You don't even know if she knows how to fight. Didn't you see the fear in her eyes, you dumb idiot?" And with that, Levi let him fall again. Barahin, that was fighting with Urza, was as shocked as everyone, but either way said, "That is one scary dude." Urza could only nod. Bray, seeing his rival being as stupid as always, said, "Flame Breath, you have to apologize, or else that guy will destroy you. That was one of the dumbest thing that you ever did in your life." Natsu could only nod to his friend's comments. He fucked up bad. He never knew that this would happen. From that day on, everyone understood one thing: don't mess with Wendy or Carla if you want to keep living. Plus, entering Makarov's office, Naruto sat on the chair in front of Makarov's chair with Wendy and Carla in his lap. Makarov had a frown on his face the whole time, so upon entering the office he said, "Sorry Naruto-san, Wendy-chan, Carla-chan, I never thought that would happen. I'm completely ashamed by Natsu's actions." Naruto, still with a frown on his face, replied, "I stand by my words. I only care for Wendy and Carla in this guild, and if any of you children hurt them I will destroy everything." Wendy and Carla could only feel the love that Naruto felt for them and smile. They were really lucky. Having their Ani-chan was the best ever. No one can love them more, and they couldn't love him more. Embracing them a bit tighter, he sighed in relief, seeing that Makarov was not against his idea of defending his precious people. Makarov could only sigh. This was the worst possible outcome of the day. An incredible powerful man was not fond of his children. He couldn't blame him. Natsu really fucked up, and so he only gave Naruto a nod. Naruto knew that Wendy and Carla had a hectic day, so he said, "We will be gone for 1 week. I need to calm down, and we need to get a house for us to stay in. After that week we will come back and give them another shot." Makarov understood this and could only hope that his children didn't screw things up again. "And we will have the conversation you wanted." Makarov, with a nod from Makarov, Naruto disappeared with Wendy and Carla. Makarov sighed, understanding that they would get another chance with Naruto. He knows that having a powerful guy like Naruto would be one of the best things to happen to the guild, but he also understands that if something were to happen to Wendy or Carla, he could go on a hunting spree. A guy that powerful has to be in the light. No one that powerful could be a dark mage. That would be disastrous. Plus, arriving at the town hall, Naruto with Wendy and Carla went to look for someone that could sell them a land outside of the town. After an hour or two, Naruto managed to buy a land just outside of Magnolia. It was a big plot of land. With all the money that Naruto earned healing people, he managed to gather a hefty amount of money. The land itself was not a big deal. It was close to the lake and was as big as the guild hall. Naruto wanted the big land for construction because he wants the house to be big enough for all his plans. Sending 100 clones towards the land and giving them the instructions of the construction and where to gather the wood. After ordering the clones, Naruto, Wendy and Carla went to their hotel and got dinner, with the promise of discovering the town tomorrow. After finishing eating, they all went towards their room. Cleaning themselves up, they got ready for bed, but before Naruto could lay down, Wendy and Carla hugged him from the front and the back. Wendy said thank you Ani-chan for taking care of us, I know we can be a burden from time to time, but before she could continue Naruto gave him a soft kiss on top of her head and said. You will never be a burden Wendy Heim you are my Heim and will always be, you two are the only ones that I truly care about in this world and I will always protect both of you, replied Naruto. Wendy gave him a teary smile and grabbed Carla and all of them laid down in the usual positions and Carla gave Naruto a beaming smile and said thanks for everything Ani-chan, you know that Wendy and I love you more than anything in this world. Wendy gave him a nod and snuggled closer to him and started to fall asleep. Naruto gave a happy sigh and started falling asleep as well. Plus. The next week Naruto, Wendy and Carla started getting to know Magnolia Town better. In this short week, Naruto managed to finish his house and today they were finally moving into it. Wendy and Carla were jumping like little girls in anticipation of getting to know their new home. After a short walk toward the border of the town, Wendy and Carla were in Naruto's arms and after finally arriving at the doors of the house Wendy and Carla had stars on their eyes. The house was enclosed in a wooden wall, the wood was sturdy and was a white with a dark orange stripe, the door of the wall was a big one with a Uzumaki swirl on the front, Naruto managed to put seals all over the walls, and the door, only Wendy, Carla and Naruto can enter, it has a magic seal, which means that only a specific magic signature can enter. Carla and Wendy were awed by the huge walls and doors and were even more awed by the seal that Naruto explained to them, this house was theirs and only they could enter. This put a smile on their faces, their Ani-sama was the best. Opening the doors, they were welcomed with the most beautiful garden they'd ever seen, there were a lot of different flowers, trees, and there was even a little pond with fishes, it was beautiful, at the middle of the garden there was the house, it was a traditional Japanese-style house, the house itself was huge, it had 2 floors, and it was the same color of the outer walls. White with a dark orange stripe. Wendy and Carla were beaming by the beauty of the front garden and the house itself. The front garden was beautiful, especially for 2 little girls, even though one is a cat. Wendy jumped out of Naruto's hands and started running around the garden, playing with Carla. After 20 minutes of playing in the garden, Naruto took them to the back of the house to show them everything else. In the backyard there was a dojo for training, it was simple, with the same design as the house, but like all of the construction it was stuck with seals, from resistant seals to blood seals for the armory on the back of the dojo. For Wendy and Carla this was a dream house, not only for a little girl, it was a house for a family, it was a house for mages, it was a beautiful house, and they couldn't be happier with the outcome of the house. Upon entering the house, the first room they saw was the living room, everything was already packed with furniture, it had everything a normal house needs, bathrooms, guest room, kitchen, and bedrooms. But the house had 2 special rooms, one of those rooms was a medic ward for Naruto and Wendy to practice their medical abilities. The second room was filled with books, it served as a library and as a seal room, Naruto would practice and study his seals here, only Wendy, Carla and Naruto could enter this room, it has a blood seal in the door. Wendy was awed by everything that was in the house, but she soon realized that there was a room for herself and another room for Carla. Wendy was about to ask Naruto why there was this room, seeing that they slept together since they met. Before Wendy or Carla could speak Naruto said Wendy Heim, Carla-chan, I made those room in the possibility you want your own room for your things, you both know that you two can always sleep next to me, I will always be happy to be with both of you. Wendy and Carla gave him a warm smile and a tight hug, Wendy said, thanks Ani-chan, and I will hold you on that promise, Wendy replied with a teasing wink. Naruto chuckled at the teasing of his little sister and said okay go clean yourselves I will start making dinner, Wendy and Carla gave him a nod and ran towards the bathroom. After finishing dinner, Naruto got a little serious and turned towards Wendy and Carla. Wendy Heim, Carla-chan tomorrow we will go to the guild again, if you two want, you know that it is yours decision, I will be happy either way, said Naruto. Wendy gave Naruto a small smile and replied, I'm okay Ani-chan, I want to go, and besides you scared them the last time, I'm sure that they won't do anything dumb again, Wendy was giggling the whole while. Carla gave Wendy a smile and said, if Wendy is okay with it, I have no problem, and I know that you will always protect us, Ani-chan Naruto gave Carla a warm smile and a nod. Okay then we will go tomorrow, let's get some sleep, will you be joining me or will you two go in your rooms, Naruto asked with a knowing smile. Wendy gave Naruto a pout and said, of course we will be sleeping with you Ani-chan, Carla gave Naruto a nod, and Naruto chuckled. Naruto grabbed Wendy and Carla and hugged them close to him and said, okay then let's go Wendy Heim, Carla-chan, and with a warm smile the 3 of them went towards Naruto's room. The next morning Naruto made breakfast while Wendy and Carla got ready for the guild. After having breakfast, Naruto stood in front of his door and grabbed Wendy and Carla and said, okay girls, let's go. And with that they all disappeared in a silver flash. The end. Thanks for watching, also remember to subscribe and like this video. See you in the next video.